Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. Today I am painting the leather on the passenger seat and the driver's seat of the RV. Now, I've used some of the leather repair on that green recliner. Y'all remember that. But anyway, I sort of learned how it works on that. So I went ahead and got this, and the color matches perfectly on these two front chairs. And so anyway, the passenger seat had 3 rips in it, about that long, and they were sort of in a fold. But anyway, I had some of the repair kit left over from before, so I just cut 3 pieces of material and put them under it and went ahead and put that repair stuff on it. Now, that leather repair stuff reminds me of, let me see what the name of it is, artist paste. Now, I used to in the past paint a lot with acrylic paints, and this is acrylic. And acrylic paint will give. You know what I mean? It doesn't crack or anything. It kind of gives. And so the artist paste is what artists use to make more of a 3-dimensional painting, and that also doesn't crack. It will just bend forever and won't crack. And I think that's what the repair kit little thing had in it. It's very similar. Anyway, I've repaired the 3 rips that were in the seat, and I've also got 1 coat of this on there. Now, I ended up getting 2 bottles of this, and each one of them's 4 ounces, and I figured I would need it for, multiple coats. And sure enough, I'm going to have to definitely put multiple coats on this one, the passenger seat. So hold on and let me position the camera and I'll show you what it looks like with just 1 coat. Alright, here's what it looks like. Now, I think y'all can probably see, I'm trying to see in my camera, yeah, you can see. All these little crack things you see were kind of dark, almost really dark brown. And so what this is going to take is multiple coats to kind of fill in some of those cracks. And I went ahead and did this with a bristle brush. This is just one of those little, they're $1, I think, in Lowe's, and they're actually, I think, hog bristles or something like that. There you can see. Anyway, the paint is acrylic, and you can wash it out with soap and water, really. So anyway, here's what the chair looks like with just 1 coat on it. Now, this top turned out really good. There were not any cracks well, there were a couple of cracks, scratches from that cat those people had. But anyway, look how close it matches the vinyl, because all of this is vinyl, and just the back part and the seat are leather. Now I want to show you. Now I'm going to turn around to the driver's seat, and now the driver's seat was not in as bad a shape as this was, but this will give you an example of what it looks like. Can y'all see that? Now there are no rips in this one, and I did clean it really good. I actually used Mr. Clean, and then I rinsed it really well, and then I cleaned it all off with alcohol. So far it's going really well. So I'm gonna get started on this, and I'll let y'all see how I'm doing it. All right, back in just a minute. All right, I'm just gonna do this section first so y'all can see, because there's no way for me to really get the camera over there. But I'm just gonna do this little part first. So I pour this out in a just a glass bowl or a ceramic bowl, and these brushes work really well. And they said you want to put the coat on thin, so what I do is just go ahead and load up my brush a little bit, and then sort of paint in the direction that the little folds are going. And this brush really gets in the cracks really well. And the hardest part is actually painting where it connects with the vinyl. Now I've got a wet rag. See, those bristles can get right into those cracks. I just brush the bubbles out. Yeah, I thought about taping around the edge, but you know that tape always, some of the paint slips under it. And I thought, well, it's just easier to put it on and then wipe it off the vinyl part because it'll come right off. Alright, so that's just the first coat. And what I'll be doing is several days in a row, I will be painting these. So now I'm just going to wipe it off. Let me make sure y'all can see, because I can't see the screen very well. Yeah. So I'm just going to take, this is one of those diaper things from Walmart. And it, see, you can wipe it right off that vinyl. Yeah, I am quite delighted with the way this is working, and it's not even finished yet. So anyway, alright, so there we go. So now let me get the rest of this chair painted and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, we'll be back in probably about 10 minutes. I wanted to show you the contrast of where I have painted and where I have not painted. Look at the difference. And this color actually matches the vinyl better than the actual leather did. Look at that. Perfect. Alright, we'll be back when I get the first coat of this on. Alright, here's the first coat on the driver's seat. And I'm most impressed with this paint. Now this over here is completely dry now, but I'm not going to put a second coat on it till tomorrow. Yeah, so when you have to paint in the little crevices here, that's why that brush works so well. You can just kind of job it into the little folds in the leather. Alright, y'all, we'll continue this tomorrow. Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. This afternoon I'm going to strip the top of this little dinette table. Now the table is oak and it's pretty worn, and especially up there close to the window it looks like somebody put something on it that messed it up. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to strip it with some all-purpose stripper, and I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? First thing, you need some gloves, and preferably the chemical resistant gloves, which these are not, but I'm really not going to get it on me, y'all. I have stripped a lot of things and I have gotten it on me before and it burns, so I've learned to be very, very careful with it. I am going to wear safety glasses because you don't want to get this stuff in your eyes. So let me turn y'all around and we'll get started. If I can cut my camera off and then... Okay, here's the little table. Now I went ahead and put some masking tape right around the edge because actually the edge is fine. I don't really need to do anything to it. It's just mainly the top of this. I think y'all can maybe see that where a lot of the finish has worn off. So this is the stripper I'm using. Let me see so you can see it. There's the stripper. And you want to make sure you get the semi-paste. You don't want to get the liquid because it's way too hard to work with. Also, we're going to need some mineral spirits to clean up after we get it stripped. So I have got a couple of boxes that I opened up and laid down flat under the table. And that's just in case something would fall on the carpet. And you also could use newspaper. You want to use something made out of paper or cardboard, not plastic, because this stuff will just eat right through plastic. Alright, and I've got a roll of paper towels here handy. Okay, so all I'm going to do is pour some out on the table, starting at the far end. And I'm using another one of those little cheap brushes. And what you want to do is just go in one direction, because this stuff will actually raise the grain of the wood, and you don't want that to happen. Now the directions on this say that it works in 30 minutes. Now I think this might work quicker than that because there's not that much of a finish left on this table. You also want to spread enough out that you don't have it get dry in any place. And I've also got the window open over here to give me ventilation because it smells like alcohol. Now after I've stripped it, I'm going to sand it a little bit with a 220 sandpaper and let it all dry out first, of course, and then I will put some stain on it. And I'm using golden oak because that's what's in the RV, is all golden oak. Yeah, I can see it's already removing this. So you want to be real careful with this and not let it drip on anything. Move my chair back. Now, if you were refinishing something like a table with turned legs on it, when you go to remove this, you'd need to have some steel wool in order to do that. So this is probably more than enough right here. So any place you see getting dry, you need to go back and give it a little more of the stripper. Now this should be a really easy job here. Just a straight, flat tabletop. Make sure I got the edge. And again, you want to do your brush in one direction, very gently. Just make sure everything is wet. Put a little more up on this end. Where I put my lid on. Just a little more up there. Again, you want to just go in one direction because you don't want to raise the grain of the wood if you can help it. Alright, now all we need to do is let this sit for a little while. Now the directions say 30 minutes, but I'm very sure this will be ready a lot quicker than 30 minutes. Alright, y'all, we're going to sit here and wait till it kind of looks like it's coming up, and then we'll be back. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes and I'm ready to start scraping this off. Now any little place that looked like it dried out, I just went over it with the brush again, real gently. Alright, so this is what I'm going to use to scrape it. This is a razor blade scraper, and this is why you need to have your protective eyewear on. So let's see how we can do this so y'all can see. We'll start, right there at this end. So what I'm going to do is tilt my blade like that in so it doesn't go off the edge of the table. And we'll start at one end. And just keep my, kind of like a snow plow has the blade angled. That's the way I'm doing this. And we'll scrape it to one end. Kind of overlapping. So I'm not leaving any behind. Alright, so let me get all this scraped and we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Now I'm going to be using paper towels, not cotton cloths. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, I had a little bit on this end where the finish didn't all come off, so here's what I'm going to do. My brush is still wet. I'm just going to put some of this on here again, right there. and we're just going to let it sit. In fact, you can just lay your brush down on it if you want to. Anyway, I'm going to wait another 5 or 6 minutes and we'll be back. Alright, this has been sitting maybe about 10 minutes, and that ought to get that last little bit off. So I've got my paper towels in hand, and I'm just going to scrape on it. And with the razor blade, you need to make sure you're always scraping with the grain of the wood. And don't gouge anywhere. Alright, you see how all the rest of this is pretty much dry? So now what we're going to do is rinse it off with some mineral spirits. I'll clean my razor blade out so I can use it again if I need to. There. Alright, now I'm putting all of my paper towels down on this paper, which is also sitting on cardboard. It's very important that you use paper and not plastic. Alright, now we're ready to rinse it off. So I'm just using some odorless mineral spirits. Get that lid off there. Putting a screwdriver in there. So now this is the only time I'm using a cotton rag, and I'm going to explain that about the cotton rags in a few minutes, because I'm going to take y'all to the garage with me and show you what you need to do with the stuff you've scraped off of the table. So I'm just going to wet this rag just a little bit. Close that up. It goes back out in the garage. Alright, so now we're just going to wipe the table down. Turn around so you can see. Now what we're doing is just getting any residue off. I'm also going to take my masking tape off at this point. Stuck to my glove. That's going to go down on the paper too. Get my glove finger out of there. It's really stuck to that glove. Alright, I'm dropping that down with that paper. Alright, so I want to get in the corners there. Real good. And along the edge. See? That glove back on here. Because I wasn't really finishing the edge, because there was really nothing wrong with the edge of the table. Now tomorrow, what I will do, after this is really good and dry, I will come back in and use some 220 sandpaper and make sure it's all sanded smooth and ready to refinish. And to refinish it, I'm going to use some golden oak stain on it. Some of these little scratches will come out when I sand it, and hopefully this little dark area here will come out too. Alright, we're ready to go to the garage now, and I'm going to show you how to take care of the stuff that you pulled off the table. There it is. See, it looks pretty good, even like this. But you see this? Can you see that there's a sort of a line right there? Hopefully I can sand that out. You can see it clearer now. That would be the way they put on the stain, probably. Alright, y'all, come on, let's go to the garage. All right, we're out in the garage now. There's the brush I used, and there are all the paper towels I used. Now notice I did not use any kind of cotton cloth to get all this stuff off. You want to make sure you use paper towels. Or you could also, if you're doing a piece that's got turned legs or something, you can use steel wool. But you still need to spread it out on some kind of paper. Newspaper works good. This is the bottom half of that shade I put up at the door. Now, on the cotton rag that I used with the mineral spirits on it, you see it's laying there so it will dry out completely, because cotton mixed with this stuff can cause, I forget what you call it, it will actually combust and start a fire. So that's why you need to leave it spread out, and you need to do it on paper, not plastic. All right, y'all, we'll see y'all in a minute. All right, we're back out in the RV now. I wanted to just say a few words about the stripping furniture. There are just some basic rules to go by, and you definitely do not want to get the liquid stripper. Believe me, it doesn't work. It'll take forever. Uh-oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit y'all. It'll take forever, and you'll get it all over everything. So y'all saw how I stripped the table. Now, most people use a scraper rather than a razor blade scraper, but let me just tell you what I have stripped in the past, if I can even remember it all. Okay, first of all, in the house that we live in, we bought it years ago and found out it had heart pine floors, and we weren't sure if we could sand them again, because the house was very old, and so we stripped all the floors, and mostly I did it because Mr. Bucky was still working then. He was gone all the time, and I did it with stripper just like this, and I just sat down on the floor and just did it, a little square at a time, and just kept moving and moving along and moving along. Now, the biggest reason we had to strip a lot of the floors is one floor was painted aqua. I kid you not, it was painted aqua. And all three of the bedrooms upstairs were painted gold. So not only did I have to strip the face of the board, but any little cracks, I had to get the paint out of there too. And then all we did was lightly sand it with 220 sandpaper and put polyurethane on it. And of course they're heart pine, so obviously we didn't put any kind of stain on the floors. And I've done all of our antiques, with the exception of the bedroom upstairs. That's the oak bedroom set. The lady I used to get my antiques from had done that one. But everything else I stripped myself, and using this exact same kind of product, the semi-paste, and always using newspapers or something, paper, cardboard, something. Don't use a cotton drop cloth, don't use plastic, but let it be some kind of paper. And anyway, the other thing is, when you're stripping, if you would choose to use the razor blade scraper like I do, always have it at an angle, kind of like a snow plow, so that all the gook that's coming off goes to one side, and that way you get a clean scrape out of it. And also wear gloves and long sleeves, because if any little speck gets on your skin, you're going to know it, because it'll start burning. And let me think what else. Oh, I stripped all the doors in the house. I don't know how many there are, including those two humongous sliding doors. And that was hard. It was very hard, but they had been painted so many times, I'm going to guess and say there was at least maybe 1/8 of an inch of paint on them. Some of the design, like in the front door, we didn't even know there was a design there until it was stripped. And but anyway, so I'm going to end this video and let y'all see the passenger and the driver's chairs with the first coat of paint on them, and then maybe tomorrow I'll go ahead and do another little short video doing another coat on the chairs, and we'll go ahead and refinish this table. I don't want to do it tonight, even though it looks dry. I want to make sure it's 100% dry. Then I'm going to sand it with the 220 sandpaper, and when I wipe the dust off, making sure it's all clean, I will use rubbing alcohol. Then we'll be ready to put the stain on. Then you have to let that dry, preferably overnight. And then we'll start putting I'm going to use the spar urethane. It's indoor, outdoor, and the main reason is because this table sits right where the sun would be coming in on it, and that's why I'm using it. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and post this video, even though it's not complete what I'm doing. I mean, it would make the video forever long if I try to do it all in one video. All right, we will see y'all tomorrow. Bye for now.